So falling in love with myself was just to never let anybody take me out of the zone of who I am. I am who I am. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lower myself, or I'm not gonna put myself above just to make somebody else comfortable. If you're not comfortable, it's okay. I'm comfortable and I'm sure and I got confidence in who I am because of who lives inside of me. So I just think loving yourself is very important. When you fall in love with yourself, it's easier to love people. You know, because you realize I love them as much as they allow me and as much as God want me to love them. But when it comes to yourself personally, you're it. You're it.
Welcome back to On a Journey with Giselle. I'm your host, and I'm so excited to have you back on this show. And you know what month it is. This is my favorite month. And it's the month where we give love to our mothers. And that is where we also show love to just the flowers coming in. The month of May, we're really going to be honing in on mothers because, like I said, I want to show love and give love to the mothers. Today, we're going to be talking and having a conversation with my aunt and what it means to be a mother and the unique mother that she has been. And we're going to be also talking to a writer. We're going to be having on the journey of writing and what that looks like and how my guest on the show got started. And then we're going to be joined by a group of my friends who are mothers, but they all have unique motherhood situations. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. But y'all, we got to get into the show. All right, so with no further ado, I want to introduce my aunt.
Hi, Ida Davis.
Yes, what I call Ida Davis, Aunt Meggie, Medea 2.0. We'll get into that later. Just playing. Okay, well, we're gonna have fun, so it's gonna be really fun. We're gonna have a lot of questions. I'm just gonna ask my aunt a few questions about raising us. So let's just get into the show. So, Aunt Meggie, even though Aunt Meggie's name is Ida, I call Aunt Meggie, so that's how I'm going to be addressing Aunt Meggie on the show. So I want to ask you a question. So it's known that women, they're nurturers. How would you define the difference in a mother and a mother figure?
I can't separate the two. A mother figure is the same as a mother. When you take anybody in, children, your nieces or whatever, a nurturer actually lays their life down for their children. Mm-hmm. So it is no longer about you, it's about the children. Mm-hmm. So I can't separate the two.
Well, and that makes sense because, honestly, like seeing it, it's just like you wouldn't think that you laid your life down. But then as me and Gabby became grown-ups and like we really kind of like got on our own. And like even just in saying this, like you were a single mom and then you just like stopped and then you just took in two other mouths. When women enter the journey of motherhood, right? Having a son, being a mother figure to a lot, and you're a grandma to my great buddy. What did it teach you about yourself? Like you're like through that journey, like when you were a mom, when you're an aunt, you're a mother figure, like you said, and then like you're a grandmother now. What did that teach you about yourself outside of your other journeys?
Thank God, because I trust the Lord that I had changed my life, and it made me realize that it wasn't my strength, it was His strength, and that if He said He's a provider, I had to trust Him to provide. Mm-hmm. I couldn't rely on me or my job. I had to rely on, if He gave me the assignment, then He would take care of the assignment. So I know with all the struggles, reality and truth is, you can't do it on your own.
It's trust.
It's trust and faith.
Trusting and having faith in the journey. How did you overcome like challenges that you had in motherhood? Like those times where like you took us in, we were two extra mouths and it's just like navigating that. Or there's times maybe in the finances when you didn't know, like you said, you had trust and faith. But like emotionally and mentally, how did you overcome those challenges?
You never stop. Oh. You never stop. You never stop thinking. You're always trying to have a strategy of what can I do next? How am I going to do it? And then you go right back to He is Jehovah Jireh.
What's that
mean? Jehovah Jireh actually means He's a provider. And I realized with the walk, He's not just a provider financially. He's a healer. He provides you mentally to push past what you think you can do and know what he is going to do. So it's not a moment where you can stop and have a pity party. Now there was moments where you break down, but you just can't stay there. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep saying, okay, if you're a provider, then you know what we need. So I had to put everything, prioritize me in my life, because it was easier with one child and being able to say, okay, I'm just gonna go do this and not really think about a whole lot. But when you got two other children and there's no other income, it's the same income with that one child, then you have to know that, okay, now I can no longer do some of the things that I was doing. So for me, it was prioritizing my life, which actually was putting me in place where God needed me to be, because it wasn't about me. It was about him and him doing what he was going to do. And I thank God because we were never lacking anything. And a lot of the stuff that I had to separate was things that I really didn't need. It was just things that I wanted. And a lot of times when there is more than enough, you can become glutton. And to me, glutton is not just eating, it's overdoing anything. So it really helped me prioritize my life, and it made me always be grateful for what God was doing in my life and through me in my life.
Well, I appreciate it because you said two great things, and it's just like, when you think about it, because like even any journey you think about, right, there's going to be challenges, right? And something that stuck out to me that you said is like you had your moments. Some people think that you don't have moments and you got to go through it, but how did you keep pushing? Like you said that you didn't have your pity parties and you didn't, you did feel the feelings, of course, but you just kept pushing. So, how? So my question is, how did you take time for yourself during that when you were
exercise?
Exercise.
I walked. I did outside adventures that relaxed me. I did things that to give me peace, and exercising, taking care of myself, such as massages, pedicure, manicures, reading the Bible, anything that brought peace to my mind. And I don't know if this is the proper thing to say, but I didn't allow others to come in and tell me if I was you, because you're not me. Mm-hmm. So my focus was on clearly taking care of me and my children. And that made me keep pushing. And it made, like I said, I did have moments where I guess I would break down, but my breakdowns was never past one day, because tomorrow is another day. So I could start my day anytime I wanted to. So if I had a moment, whether it's 30 minutes, 2 hours, or 12 hours, I had enough time where I could start my day over. Yeah. And I could choose to be sad or I could choose to be peaceful and joyful. And I always chose peace and joy over sadness. Okay. So I would not allow anything to rule my mind other than good thoughts.
That's really inspirational, because it's like, it's a choice. We all have a choice in life. And like, I'm always on here saying, you define your destiny. And I that came to me, there was a moment right when COVID came. And that's when I really started saying, I actually started saying it probably when I was in Florida. And that's when I was living, and, like, you already know that situation. Like, I had to learn how to fight there, because I was the first time on my own, went through different situations there. But that choice piece is where, like, sometimes I, look at other mothers and then I realize, and I'm like, how do you, like, because there's no way, like, I'm not feeling good and, like, I got to come home and listen to people. Man, my aunt had this thing when we would come home and we didn't understand it, and she'd just be like, just give me a few minutes. Just give me a few minutes. And I'd just be like, me and Gabby will be like, what's wrong? Like, we just want to tell her about our day. And then we did that comparison thing where, like, we would hear stories of, like, oh, other kids get to talk to their parents when they get home. And we'd be like, well, why aren't Richie's not? But now we get it, because, like, both of our fields deal with talking to the public all day. My aunt, which we didn't say, she has her own business, 2 businesses, and she's an entrepreneur, and she took us in as an entrepreneur. So now that I have, started my own journey of fitness and doing different things and working, I'm realizing like you have a choice to like choose how you want your day to be. Like even yesterday, I had a moment, and you were like, Giselle, like have confidence in yourself, and it's just like you can do it, and you get out there and do stuff for yourself. And I think that's important for us to like hear, like in this journey, not only motherhood but just in any journey that you're on, you have a choice. Like at the end of the day, I could talk to you, your parents could talk to you, your mentors, therapists, anybody could talk to you, but at the end of the day, like you have a choice to turn your day around. And I appreciate you just sharing that. And just kind of like to kind of feed off of that, what advice, like if there's a mom right now listening to this and they're tired and they're just like, I don't know if I can do this, they don't have any help, like what's some advice that you can give to this mother that like they might be feeling less than? What would you give her?
Don't focus on the situation as much. The situation is there, but you will overcome the situation. And if you focus on the situation, you become the situation. If you don't focus on the situation, you focus on better or what else can happen. And I don't know if I'm right, but I always had a plan A, B, C, D, E. And I realized if plan A, B, C, D, E don't work, then maybe that's just not for me. So don't focus on that situation and how bad it is. Focus on what if and look at the good side, because every negative has a positive. Even batteries got a negative and a positive. Mm-hmm. So you can charge off your negative or you can charge off your positive. So for me, always try to charge off your positive and not your negative. Your negative is only to get you to your positive. Because a lot of times your negative makes you strong. Your negative is to bring you into something better than. But if you focus on the negative and stay in the negative, you'll never see the positive. So, if you always got a positive battery, then eventually your battery is going to shut down. Because even a battery stops. Right. So don't just focus on one thing. Focus on, all the good. There's a lot of good in the negative. I think we're so accustomed to the perfect life that there is no perfect life. So I don't focus on my negative. I'm always thinking of what can I do for better to keep me positive and keep me moving. And I'm not going to be around anybody that always negative because that drains you. Right. That's the energy at you. And like you said earlier, when I would come home and say, just give me a minute, it's because I deal with the public. So dealing with the public, you hear stories all day long. And it's not a bad thing because some of the negative stories actually make me realize I'm not in a situation as bad as I think because others got worse situations. And then you got positive situations where it encourages you to do better. So if it's a mother out there that is struggling, the struggle never lasts forever. It's temporary. It's not a permanent moment. It's only permanent if you lay in it. Pick yourself up. I always told y'all, kiss the boo-boo and keep on going.
Yeah. And that's something that I take with me because it's like, at the end of the day, like, you're going to realize, like you said, you get to start your day over and you get that choice. So let's talk about, your mother, you took me and Gabby, and then now you're a grandmother. So along the time, like Tyrell said, which is our greatest brother, at Flint Hill Stunner, you can go ahead and follow him for his music. But discipline has changed. So let's talk about that. Like, so, you had Tyrell, he was a single child, right? Then you got me and Gabby, and then we came in, and Tyrell was like, well, if I did that, I wouldn't have gotten away with that. Then we look at my little buddy, and we're like, there's no way we would have gotten away with it. Look, but I have realized something. It's the patience. Your patience kind of has changed. So, like, my question is, like, what made you more patient?
It's not about having more patience. It's that I raised y'all. And my job was to raise y'all. so I wouldn't have to raise my grandbaby. So when I look at Tyrell, he's a great daddy. Yeah. Every weekend he has his son. And I watch him take care of his son. And the things that he thought was terrible that I was teaching him, I see him teaching his son. So had I let you be legend, then who was going to be raising you? I had to raise you. So when you have children, you can raise your children. All I did was lay a foundation. Now, the way you build your house is up to you. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching Tyrell build his house off some of the principles that I taught him. So Legend, I'm Legend's grandmother. I don't have to raise Legend. That's my choice. So my choice, I actually have a choice because I raised my son. Mm. And the same thing when you have a child, I won't have to raise your children because I raised you. Mm. So now we're able to not be friends, but we can have friendly moments. Yeah. You know, and I think it was all about the hard times that you probably thought that I was being mean was I was drawing that respect line. Yeah. So don't cross that line to disrespect me because I'm mama. Mm-hmm. I'm not your friend. I wanted you to be open to come talk to me, but I don't want you to think you could just be jiggy with me, say and do anything. Same thing with Tyrell. And as I said to y'all, he's a big boy, but I never feared my son. And that's because I raised my son. There's a difference in raising your children and being fearful of your children. Mm-hmm. So to me, I had love for my children. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to raise my grandchild. So it's not that I have more patience because I do correct him. Yeah. You do. So he knows to respect grandma. Right. He does. So, and you always talk to me and Gabby about it. You talk to everybody about this, to be honest. So, and it's the word love. Like, you love. All I hear from my Meji is about love. And so tell me about, you became a mother, but like, when did you like start your journey of loving yourself? Like, what stepped into that? And like, how important is it for a mother to like take that journey of loving herself? Well, I had a bad relationship. And with the bad relationship, the twist became I had given somebody more of me than I gave me. And it's like a open door came, a light bulb came on and said, you can't love anybody else if you don't love yourself. So I start searching me and finding what I love about me. Again, the negative and the positive. I could have found all my negative or I could have found all my positive. I am who God created me to be. So I don't have to be what nobody else wants me to be. So when you do that, you fall in love with who He created you to be. So it's easier to love people because they are who they are. Right. And I know God didn't clone anybody. So I don't look for your negative. I look for if He allowed us to meet, then there was something about you that I needed and that we fell in love with each other. So my thing is loving yourself is loving who He created you to be. Because He said, I created you after my image and my likeness. So there's a light in you that you might need or somebody else might need. So falling in love with myself was just to never let anybody take me out of the zone of who I am. I am who I am. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lower myself or I'm not gonna put myself above just to make somebody else comfortable. If you're not comfortable, it's okay. I'm comfortable and I'm sure and I got confidence in who I am because of who lives inside of me. So I just think loving yourself is very important. When you fall in love with yourself, it's easier to love people. Mm-hmm. Because you realize I love them as much as they allow me and as much as God want me to love them. But when it comes to yourself personally, you're it. Right. You're it. Right. So. And that's something I'm learning to do. And, like I said, like I had my moment yesterday and you checked in on me. And it's just like, learning to love yourself. I'm learning, like you said, that was a key word for me. It's just when you learn to love yourself, you're providing a light. And like,
I think that's important because we all, like, even through the challenges, we saw your light. We saw you kept pushing. And, like, I think that's important. No, I'm not a mom yet, but I got a lot of little cousins, and loving them and, like, help, like, I think they see the light and how much I love them, whether they want to admit it or not. Sometimes they know Gigi loves them. So, I really want to appreciate you. Before we go, though, I have to do a game. As y'all all know, me and Gabby are twins, and I'm much racist. So I just want to see if how much you really knows us. I want to see, well, more so, how well do you know Giselle? So, for my viewers that really know me, they should know these, but let's see if you know, okay? All right, so if I had to pick, who am I picking? Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Okay, 1 point. 1 point, okay. So if I had to pick, am I picking a veggie wrap or French fries?
Veggie.
So 0. I mean, cancel.
Oh, French fries?
Yeah, I love French fries. I love French fries. Okay. So the next.
Now that's a tricky question.
I know. That's
because
tricky.
If you had a choice to pick French fries, you might love French fries, but you would pick veggie.
I know, because I'm be on my fitness stuff all that. That's true. Okay, I'll give you that point. All right, so
half a point.
Half a point. So who would win the fight between Gabby and I when we were younger?
Gabby.
That's cancel.
That's 2 points.
Gabby would not win. Okay. Out of Gabby and I, who's faster?
I can't say. I would say Gabby, but
you're right.
Okay,
Gabby's faster. Who's stronger though?
Gabby.
No, she's not. I am stronger. All right. This is another one. Who's more teachable?
You.
Okay. Now, last question. This is a tough one. All right. Who am I gonna pick? T.I. or Method Man?
I don't even know.
Method Man is the one that be on with Mary J. Blige.
I have no idea.
Okay,
but whoever you like.
Both of them.
T.I.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I would. T.I. T.I., you hear that?
That was a guess.
That's right. You won the game. So you got one wrong.
Which
number
was
3? Who would win the fight?
Gabby.
No.
Okay, just for the record, you want me to remind you?
No. No. All right. So that was good. I'm gonna you guys 7 points. 7 points. All right. So I want to ask you advice. As we wrap up this show, I just want to ask you advice. Me and Gabby, we just turned 30. So what can you, if you look back when you were 30 years old, which was 2 years after you took us in, what advice would you give us as we go into this new decade, and to any 30-year-old?
Stay on the path that you're on. Love God. Put Him first in everything. I mean, as much as you can, make Him your first priority and enjoy life. Don't sit back, have regrets. Don't don't condemn yourself about life. Just enjoy life. Whatever you think that's good for you, try it. Okay. Anything you think you want to do it. Don't rush. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm grateful that I had y'all and Tyrell. Don't rush the marriage. Don't rush the children. Don't rush anything. Just let it be and enjoy your life.
Well, I appreciate that. That's good because, something that I'm working on. We're smiling because Amici knows that, this is something that I'm working on. But live and love is something Amici's really big on. And I always for years, have been hearing her say it. And, even with us going to Puerto Rico, I think that was a really great trip that we took together. And we talked about it a lot, me and Gabby, but like something we thought about as we were walking in the mountains, where like Amici always said, just live. And we were doing scary stuff, like jumping off a cliff. And we were very scared. Right. And we were like, just live. But it was fun. So I appreciate that. And lastly, like, I want to say thank you. But I want to say, take this section and just give you honor. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, our mom has gone away. And something that you always pass to us is that she's not gone. And that she's with us. And, I appreciate you for teaching us that, because we could have mourned her. We could, and not saying that we didn't grieve her and we didn't mourn her. Something that, I want to say in that honoring, and there's things like we go back to discipline when we had our conversation. I appreciate how hard you were on us. and like raising us and setting that foundation. There were things that I did, I'm gonna share with y'all, but they all taught me lessons of to be a better person than who I am today. And one of my interesting moments that I probably will never forget in my life, my aunt didn't whoop us like that. Like she did, but she stopped at an age. Like after Gabby kept falling. But
passed it out.
Gabby kept passing out. Not because Ameji was even touching her. She would just fall out. but Ameji had a way, like, and the reason I call Ameji Medea 2.0 because Medea loved and she loved, and that's how my aunt does. But she didn't have to do like outrage. Like my aunt's punishments and discipline was like, how did you even think of that? And it's just like, I really appreciate you for doing that, because one of the times when I was in high school, I decided to fall into peer pressure, and I wanted to test. My aunt had decorative alcohol, and she didn't drink it, but she had decorative, and like I got challenged at school to do something, and I went to school when I shouldn't have done it, and I was like, God, Almeji had to come to the school and get me because I got kind of lit. So I was really lit. And what that taught me though, out of all of it, is the importance of appearance and respect for myself. My aunt made me go to school. I could change my undergarments, but my aunt made me go to school for, was it 4 days or something like that, in the same clothes, and she wouldn't even let Gabby. I tried to switch it out, but I couldn't do it. So that really taught me, like, appreciate, your appearance and have respect for yourself. And like another thing that, my aunt taught me is about the importance of respect. Like she said, respect and acknowledging others, and to keep my head held high. Anytime I enter into a room, and she did this, it's an interesting, if you're from the South, you already know, anytime you walk in a room, you need to speak. You gotta speak. If you don't speak, that's rude. I'm just putting it out there. But I learned this like at 9 years old. I didn't know this on Saturday morning. It was I think it was a shop full of mine. I can't remember, but it was a Saturday morning, and I went into the shop. Me and my sister, we went in, and we just didn't say nothing. We went straight to my aunt. Then she was like, "Walk back outside." And she made us do this like 3 times, 4 times, maybe. It was very embarrassing, but it taught me that you gotta, when you walk into the room, you gotta respect those that are in the room, acknowledge them. And like, you never know how many times you go in a room, and if you don't acknowledge people, what somebody might be going through. So that one, hey, how you doing, might be the only hey, how you doing they might get or been asked that day. So it's very important. And keeping your head held high, you don't really get to see what's in front of you. So keep your head up, all right? And then lastly, I appreciate you just for, like I said, running a business, and like just teaching us about credibility and respect and hard work and endurance, and like just to keep going, because even though you had your one shop, you didn't let your dreams stop. You furthered your vision, and you put that into decorating, and you are turning other people's visions into reality. So I appreciate you for teaching me that, and I just am so grateful that you took the opportunity. I'm so glad that we could sit down and have this conversation, because honestly, whether you believe it or not, like, this is an answered prayer, because like I said, we had a journey of where we didn't get along, and I would write down, like, Lord, like, I really want to get along. And I would say I'll take ownership. Like, it was probably me majority of the time. But, I appreciate you for not giving up on us, because you could have just said, no, I'm done. Like, but you never did. And shout out to Tyrell as well for just always sacrificing for us and always being there in our high times and our middle times and our low times. Just always continuing to tell us to keep going. And I thank you for being on a journey with Giselle and being a part of my journey, and as I continue this journey.
Thank you, Giselle. And I appreciate the honor, the respect, and not only that, y'all made me a better person, because some of the adventures that I took, I would have never done. Like the what's that thing they couldn't do? Yeah, kayaking. I would have never did that. It's just things that I would have never done. So when God put people in our life, there's purpose. So just always know that when He put somebody in your life, there's purpose. That purpose could be to further you or to cut that off. So some things is to cut things off. So I'm grateful for y'all as well. And, He knew from the beginning. Right. So I appreciate you, Gabby, and Tyrell, and little buddy Legend.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This is just the first episode of many. And like I said, this is going to be released. This is being released on Mother's Day. If you are someone that is struggling during this day, I just want to give you hope. Celebrate that loved one. If it's a mom or grandmother, just celebrate. Know that they're looking down at you, and you are beautiful. You are special. You're not alone. And for those that struggle during this time, some tips that could kind of help you with this and how I navigate it is get off of social media, but don't stop your life. Get out there, take a walk, write a letter to that special person, or even go do something that you used to like doing with them. That's something that can help you celebrate and honor that person that you might have lost on this very special day. And because this is being aired on Mother's Day, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed your wonderful appreciation. But I love you, and thank you all for tuning in to On a Journey with Giselle. Until next time, peace, love, and happiness.